There just happened to be someone there that Aylan's a little familiar with.
What are you talking about?
Supposedly out of character.
What are you talking about? Sniper rifles are a good weapon and whatnot, but I count on my trusty blaster.
Oh, and also I had just shown a vision to him and everyone else of whatever her name was that was supposed to be dead, actually alive. Before we walk in, and the spitting image of said person is the wife of the Admiral.
Okay, so we're ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay. I can never find the... Here it is. Star Wars Legends of the Force, Episode 2, Chapter 11, Identity. Having been rescued by the crew of the Republic ship Trepidation, our heroes were welcomed on board. They were greeted as warmly as could be expected, given medical attention, lodging, food, and warm showers, but Del fears that they may not be out of danger yet. His concerns brought up worries for the safety of the party's relatives. Delving into Aylan's mind, Pakaz made the shocking discovery that his dead fiancée, Elora Deshu, was actually still alive. And as they walked into dinner with Admiral Raelius, Aylan recognized the woman he introduced as his wife, Emma Raelius, to be none other than Elora. And with that, we can get started. First, I guess I'll give you a brief recap, since it's been a little bit. You guys were on the asteroid, you got rescued, the science crew led by Captain Wolf Pearson stayed behind, and Pakaz gave him the ancient chip that you guys find that had that journal on it. And you guys were taken aboard to the medical bay where you were quarantined for an evening with the Dr. Grayson Peddle and the helpful droid IL-33. And then you were given food, and then eventually you were declared safe off quarantine. The Admiral came to visit you, and you learned that you'd already left from the asteroid and the science team was already back, and he invited you to lunch. And then Lieutenant Jason Arvis took you to the crew quarters where they gave you your own little space and some clothes, and you guys took showers and discussed visions and potentially shooting people, and then you went to lunch with the Admiral. And that is where you currently are. Does anyone have any questions or anything they want to add to that?
Wait, I can't remember if Pakaz had a copy or anything of the data.
Nope.
Except what I translated already.
Yep.
With that said, I thought I had spent like one of those days working on the translation.
Oh, Barry. Barricam can't see anything.
I can.
Okay. Well, that
Mess
means
around
I'm
with
gonna have to.
Have you zoomed out all the way?
I mean, since there's no token for Barry Cam, you can't see the dynamic.
Yeah, there. I made it so that Barricam can see Aeland. Got a new avatar. Or has that always been there?
That's a new avatar for me. I made it similar to what I originally had because that makes sense to have it similar, but that's about it.
Ah, cool. I didn't even see it. I have my stuff turned off. Cool.
Do you want that to be your token too?
Only if it's easy for you to do. If it's not, don't worry about it.
Okay, give me 5 seconds. Except now I need to find where you are in here.
It actually took me quite a while to find everything to put together for that screenshot.
There we go. Can Barricam see now?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are all sitting down at this table, and you see that it's a pretty, it's made out of glossed wood. It's a very large rectangular table, and this room in here is also carpeted, so it looks a lot nicer than the other parts of the ship. It also seems like the light seems warmer to you in this room, so this is clearly a very well put together room because it's the Admiral's quarters. And Aeland, you sat right across from Emma, and Pakaz sat as close as he could to the Admiral and Emma, so he's sitting right next to you. And Lexa had dragged Kalani off to one end of the table. And Aeland has just been staring at Emma.
Yeah, pretty much. He kind of nods a little bit and just almost wakes himself up and proceeds to pretty much ghost throughout the rest of this. Kind of. He's going to be listening in on everything, and you can tell there's an awkward looks from him to Mr. Alias. As he still doesn't know what in the world is going on.
Well, the Admiral will gesture to the table and encourage anyone who hasn't been seated yet to do so. Say, oh, please help yourself. And if you guys wouldn't mind introducing yourselves, I don't think my wife is familiar with all of you. And the table has, it's not amazing food because this is still in space, but they have some rather appetizing looking nerf steaks and also some fruits and vegetables and other such items.
I start putting stuff on my plate.
Pakaz just says, I'm Pakaz, and holds his glass of whatever drink there is.
Nice to meet you, Pakaz. Says Emma.
His plate still empty and not being filled with food.
The Admiral says, yes, you're a kill. Would you like to custom order a drink? Or we have several different beverages available here, if any of them suit your fancy.
He says sure.
Well, what would you like?
Because says some random, really obscure kill drink.
The Admiral says, okay, well, I'll see if they have that. And he touches his wrist and speaks into a comlink. Give them just a few moments. I'll see if they can find anything. Okay, well, I guess Dirk will say, and I'm Dirk Hefte. I'm from Ventuine.
Okay, my character steps up and starts filling his plate, and I say, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm John Thomas, formerly of the Ventuine Militia."
Emma says, "Oh, John, you must be the one who met one of my associates, Bo Alco, who's currently in the infirmary. I think he enjoyed your visit. Maybe you might stop there again and say hi to him again as he recovers from his burns."
I'd be glad to.
At about that time, Alan remembers. It clicks. I don't remember if he actually introduced himself or not. Actually, to come to think of it.
Yeah, he didn't, but she knew your name.
Okay. In that case, it clicks with him that he needs to, and he stands up and gives a formal Republic salute. I'm deeply sorry, Elan Koeth.
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard of some of your exploits in the Republic military service. Although I'm afraid they didn't mention anything about your fiancé. I'm sorry about that.
It's alright. It's one of those things you don't proudly pronounce every time you go to dinner, so to say. And he'll pick up some of the fruit, or get some of the fruit, and just kind of casually eat it. Almost slowly, if anybody takes note.
Jaina the Jedi says to Kalani, she says, "Knight Starfire, didn't your master teach you manners? Shouldn't you introduce yourself?"
What? What are we
The
doing?
captain asked all of you to introduce yourselves to his wife. I haven't heard you volunteer your name yet.
I don't know what's going on. Why is someone
Introduce,
yelling at me?
introduce
The Jedi
yourself.
said you
It's
need to
dressing down
introduce
Jedi
yourself.
style.
What? I'm confused.
The Admiral asked everyone to introduce themselves to his wife, and people
Oh.
aren't saying stuff. And then the Jedi asked you if your master didn't teach you any manners because you didn't introduce yourself.
Can we pretend that she did introduce herself, please?
Okay, if you want to.
Confused and distracted.
Okay, we can retcon that. Okay, so Jaina didn't say anything to you. Okay, does anyone else want to introduce themselves, or should we pretend you all did? And not that you just sat there silently eating food and not introducing yourselves.
No, Dell's actually just sitting on the corner end of the table.
Oh, okay. Does Lexa want to introduce herself?
I guess after everyone sort of introduced themselves, she kind of figures that that's a thing to do. So after she takes a few bites of her food, she kind of straightens up. Right. I'm Scarlet, the Scarlet Hunter. I'm a bounty hunter on the payroll of the Republic on Coruscant.
Oh, that must be a very exciting job.
I can be.
So did you guys find anything else out on the asteroid?
The Jedi says something here. She says, well, we didn't search for too long, but we did find some sort of artifact there.
Artifact?
Yes, it seems to be some sort of dark side artifact. I took it to my quarters for safekeeping, and I'm going to give it to the Jedi for a safe study.
What about the data that was on that crystal that we recovered? On that data chip that we recovered? You had any luck decoding that?
Please hold.
Apparently he didn't think anyone was going to ask any real questions.
No, I was doing something else. Can you repeat the question? You were asking about the
data
chip that Pagaz gave them?
Mm-hmm.
She says, well, I'm afraid that neither I nor Captain Pearson are fluent in Sith, so we were not able to make any progress on that. I think he still has it in his possession.
I know a little. If I can look at it, I can work on it. I already have some of it translated.
Oh, really? That would be interesting.
Yeah, the first parts weren't encrypted.
And the other parts are encrypted?
No, they're all in Sith, which I can read a little bit. I don't remember any encryption.
Yeah, out of
Okay.
character, the other ones were. Or like
Yeah,
they
it
were
was like
written
some
in a
sort of
code
code.
or something.
It was like codes, you didn't understand it. Yeah, from what we could tell, it was a log of one of the Sith. They were conducting some sort of Sith alchemy experiments on the asteroid, but we didn't really get to the parts later. It's chronological.
Well, maybe we should go see the captain later and discuss this further. And the Admiral says, yes, I for one would really like to hear the story of how you 7 came to be on that asteroid. I'm sure it's a very interesting tale. Would one of you care to share it with us?
No one's gonna say anything? You want to let the latecomer explain it?
Well, I'll start with my Force visions. Sometimes I can see things, and basically, I saw that the Sith were looking for that asteroid had been lost to them. And whatever they were trying to do and get from there, it was some sort of crystal that we destroyed. whatever it was, they were going to use it to try and basically attack the Jedi Temple. And from my visions, it seemed to have greater consequences in the galaxy. So we went there to stop them. And we beat them there, but they also managed to find it. And that's how we ended up stranded. They destroyed our ship. And that's the short version.
The Admiral chuckles. He says, "Well, you're not much of a storyteller, are you?"
No.
So, there were Sith on this asteroid?
Yeah, Sith name of Darth Krufei. At least him. Some Sith assassins. One of them is dead, but he probably had more with him, but not exactly sure who else he had with him at that point.
Interesting. Do we know of any Darth Krufei? He asks, looking at Jaina. And she shakes her head. No, I don't believe so. Then she looks at you. You said you had Force visions?
Mm-hmm. So I had another vision once I was back here that it seemed like they were going to go back to the asteroid to try and figure out a way to recreate this crystal that we destroyed. I hope that data chip that we got was the only way for them to be able to do that. Otherwise, they might be trying to redo it.
I'm sorry. I must have been very hungry. I'm not paying attention. And I look at the Jedi. You said you got something from the asteroid? Artifact? What was that?
Yes, it was some sort of dark side crystal that we found. I took it for safekeeping, and I'll give it to the Jedi when next I see them. But for now, I'm keeping it in my quarters.
What room did you find it in?
I'm not sure. I could show you on the map. It was some room on the eastern half of the asteroid. I'm afraid I was mainly relying on the others for navigation.
It wasn't a large room with pillars, was it?
No, it looked more like a smaller quarters area.
Probably a good idea to have one of us at least see what it looks like. Maybe it's related to what we destroyed.
What was the thing that you destroyed exactly?
Some sort of floating dark side crystal.
Seem to have some sort of dark presence of some sort. Basically kind of inside it.
Well, I could tell that this is a dark side artifact because it's clearly been touched by the taint of the dark side. But not really a dark presence of any kind.
Quick question: the person who's speaking now, is this the Jedi or the Admiral?
Yeah, sorry, I can't do voices very well. That was the Jedi.
Okay.
I need to get my voice synthesizer to do a female voice.
No, John, I'm not downloading that.
If you'll all excuse me, I'm not feeling so well. And I slowly get up.
The Admiral says, "Oh, is there anything that I can do for you?"
No, your hospitality has been more than enough. I think it's simply I'm in need of rest. But the rest of you, enjoy. I
Okay,
make my way out.
I'll have the lieutenant meet you at the bottom of the elevator.
Very well. I don't know where I'd go to leave. Lex leaves.
Okay. Yeah, the lift is at the end of the hallway, so you can take it back down. And the lieutenant will be down there.
Admiral Aurelius, what is this ship's destination?
Ah, yes. Lieutenant told me that you guys were curious about our mission. But I'm happy to share it with you here as long as we all can agree to be discreet, because we don't want the word of it to get out any further.
Who are we going to tell?
I don't know. I hardly know you, so how am I supposed to know who you're going to tell?
Everybody I know is sitting in this room, except the one that just left.
He laughs. Well, we are currently headed towards the Ord Radama system. Our mission here is to scout out the chains of the Sith supply route. And we've tracked some of their ships to this system. Our plans are to lie in wait there and track all of the Sith ingress and egress out via hyperspace travel. And by repeated measurements, hopefully calculate where the other systems adjacent to this one are in their supply chain.
So you're setting up an observation post?
More or less.
Are there any other ships in your group, or is it this just the ship by itself?
It's just us. That's why we couldn't immediately go to rescue you. The Republic fleet is stretched pretty thin with all the activity that Revan's been pressing against us. We sort of need this information on their supply chain in order to cripple their movements. We aren't really sure how they're getting so many ships in order to counter us, and how they're supplying their armada.
You said a couple proper noun soundy places that I can't spell. Where were they? Ord something? What was the other thing you said right after that? I think it started with a K.
I don't think I said anything else that had a capital noun. Does anyone else remember? I don't.
I was racking my brain trying to figure out how to spell Ord Radama, and then maybe I heard something you didn't say.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Okay, Ord Radama, observing Sith ship routes in and out of the system.
Yep.
Basically, okay, so you suspect they're using the system as a transit point from one place to another.
Yes, that's correct. We've detected ships arriving at other systems that we calculated was from Ord Radama, so we're trying to backtrack their movements to discover the earlier locations in their supply chain. Unfortunately, we were only able to catch one ship incoming before we came to rescue you all.
Is that where you were when you got our distress signal?
Indeed.
Not that I'm not grateful, but can I ask why you decided to bail on the mission or postpone it to come get us?
Well, I guess we owe that partly to my conscience and partly to my other conscience, aka my wife, Emma. She really brings out the best in me and convinced me that we couldn't just leave some Republic people to die on an abandoned asteroid if we could help you all. So I decided to make a quick trip over there to rescue you all. Unfortunately, that means you'll have to stick with us for the completion of our mission, but I'm sure it's better than being stuck on that asteroid.
No doubt. I guess that means that we all owe you a debt of gratitude, miss. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
She blushes and says, "Oh, it was nothing. I just didn't want you dwarf souls to die out in space somewhere."
Die or go mad.
Do you have do you know the expected duration of your mission?
Well, it depends on how often the Sith are traveling through this system. We need to collect a certain number of jump data in order to be able to calculate where they're coming from. Our ship is outfitted for this mission to last several months. Then the Jedi asks, all of you, but specifically Kalani and Del. So did you guys actually encounter the Sith?
No, no direct encounters.
Yeah, since the station was kind of cut in half, we were on one half, and then they gained access to the main control room. And while we were trying to go basically acquire their ship, they flew around to the other side. But once they realized we destroyed what they were looking for, they left.
They arrived there shortly after we landed, and they closed off access to the command center. So it wasn't really possible to confront them directly.
We never had a face-to-face. He just taunted us over the intercom system.
Ah.
Though I did try and get some security bots to break into the other section, and it appears that is what killed one of their stealth units.
Assassins.
Well, I've never heard of a Darth Crufay working alongside of Freven, but at least according to your visions, I guess you did a great service to the galaxy by stopping him.
I'm not sure he stopped. Depends on what else was on that asteroid.
Well then. Well, the Admiral then says, "Well, is there anything that any of you need while you're on your ship? It's all at your disposal."
The only thing that I would like is to have Picasso and myself and the rest of us have access to that data chip to see if we can figure out what exactly they were doing on that asteroid and what Darth Crufay was really after. Because sometimes visions are clear and sometimes they're vague. So I'd like to get some clarity. And if they figure out that we have that data on board, they might try to track us down. If they were unsuccessful in finding anything that they were looking for when they went back to the asteroid.
Well, I'm not sure how they could track us down.
Well, I don't know. We had the only way that of finding the asteroid. I don't know how they learned the coordinates for that either.
Yes, that is weird.
So you're telling me that the Sith we're lying in wait for may just have other Sith come and track us down while we're on our mission?
Yeah, I still don't know how they found us. It could be that they somehow managed to track our ship coming off of Ventouine. That'd be the simplest explanation, but I can't rule out other possibilities. They may have someone adept in foresight on their end as well, in which case they might be able to find this ship.
Okay, we're gonna take a break and go see what Lexa is doing. So, at the base of the lift, the lieutenant meets up with you. He says, "So, what do you want, Lexa? Do you want me to escort you back to the quarters? Are you not feeling well?"
Yes, my quotas will be fine, thank you.
Okay, so he escorts you down the long hallway past the med bay to the end and back to the quarters. Is there anything that you need?
Nope, just to be alone.
Okay, well, just find someone and let them know if you need anything, and I'll come back and get you. Otherwise, I'm sure your friends will be back fairly soon.
I'm sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Then he leaves.
Is there a computer anywhere in my room?
Yeah, so this is basically like a crew quarters area, so each of the areas is equipped with like a bunked bed, but then underneath there's like a desk and like storage units and stuff for each of the crew's space. So I'd say on there's probably some sort of rudimentary computer terminal.
Okay, I want to go to them and look for ship schematics.
Okay. When you go up to the screen, it asks you to input your crew member ID and password.
Yep. I guess I'm gonna try and hack it.
Okay, roll use computer. Okay, you see that the computer seems to be not liking your attempts to hack into it, and from what you can gather based on the code that's flashing on the screen, it seems like it's about to trigger an alarm that is going to alert the computer authorities on board the ship that someone tried to hack in.
Can I just unplug the computer?
Yeah, you can try doing that.
Yeah,
The computer is sort of built into the desk, so you could try to like disconnect the desk from the wall or something, I guess.
This is getting good.
It was broken when I got here. Put it up in like a...
Well,
They
I was
pull
just,
the hard drive and like, it says you tried to hack into the computer.
well, just knowing about computers, what I'm basically trying to do is like turn it off before I have a chance to send any signals. So, like there an off button or something, like a power down completely.
There is, yes, there's a power button.
Yeah, I want to hit that.
Okay, roll use computers again. Okay, we'll say the computer turns off.
I say out loud, I can't do this if you don't help.
Huh?
And I take out my data pad.
Okay.
Well, that's helpful. And I try and see if I can bring up a schematic using my data pad. Maybe there's a way, like a guest entrance that I can use.
Okay. Do you want to try that on the turned off computer, or do you want to go to one of the other bunks and try a different computer?
I'm gonna try a different computer.
Okay.
I just want to see if like there's a guest entrance.
Okay. So you can, yeah, there's a port where you find that you can plug in your data pad. So you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
What can I basically do from this without being a crew member? That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm. So when you plug in your data pad to the thing, a little app opens up on your data pad, and it's basically like a little bit of a guest interface on there. It tells you that the ship is currently in hyperspace, and there's also a button on there that you can press to page the communications officer on board the ship for assistance. There also seems to be like some map that can escort you to like the nearest restrooms.
Okay, I go to that map.
Okay.
How much can I see from that map?
The map looks like it's focused on the room that you're currently in, where it's showing like a dot that's flashing where you're standing, and there's like a large arrow pointing to the bathrooms that you know that you used for showering. And the rest of the map seems grayed out.
I'm gonna try leaving the room and see if that dot follows, and maybe the map follows with me.
Okay, well your data pad is connected to the terminal. So you unconnect it.
There's no way to make it like a Wi-Fi signal. HoloNet, sorry.
There's no way that you see on the pad.
Alright, I disconnect and I just open my door and peek out, see if there's anyone outside the door.
There are a few people in here, like some of the other shift people just hanging out by their bunks or sleeping, just generally moving about, but no one seems to be paying any particular attention to you.
Okay, I want to go out into the hallway.
Okay.
Oh, wait, never mind. People in here?
Mm-hmm.
I want to find the most, like, unassuming, maybe maintenance person, and walk over to them and say, hi, I must have lost my ID or something. I can't get into the computers. I just want a ship schematic. I'm looking for something, and you know, the ship is so large, it's hard to find my way around, but I wanted to put the schematic on my data pad so I could find my way around. Could you help me on one of these computers?
Can you roll deception for me, please?
Yep.
Okay, can you also so how? Okay, so you see where you are, right, on the map, right?
Uh-huh.
So where exactly did you go to try to find someone? Like somewhere in this room?
You said there were people and the crew members in here, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just picked out whoever looked like they could get into these computers and talk to one.
Okay. Well, in that case, he looks at you and raises his eyebrows and says, "What do you mean misplaced your ID? Aren't you one of those guests here? I'm pretty sure the Admiral doesn't let us wander around in all of our ripped up clothing that we defaced."
Right. What I meant was I don't think that I was given one. I was told that we could make ourselves comfortable, but it's hard to be comfortable without access to the HoloNet.
Oh, well, you should be able to access the HoloNet through your datapad. Just plug it into one of those terminals.
It wasn't working. I didn't seem to be working. Could you help me? Could you just show me how to do it?
Sure, let me see what I can do. So he goes over to one of the terminals, and then he logs into it. And
Can I see what he uses to log in?
You can roll perception.
Okay, guys, I want everyone to be hoping for a 20 here.
Yeah, sure, a 20.
Curse you, dice!
I blame Eagle. She wasn't wishing hard enough.
You rolled persuasion?
No. Whoops.
Hooray!
Oh.
Not great.
Yeah, his fingers move too quickly. But he logs in and says, "So what were you just want a map of the ship?"
Yes, that would be absolutely terrific.
Okay, he takes your data pad and plugs it in, and then he downloads the map onto it.
Thank you so much. I feel so much better now. Now I won't look like an idiot when I go into the wrong bathroom.
He laughs. Yeah, you're welcome. Just let me know if you need anything else.
Of course. What was your name?
My name's Mark Illing.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Ask him if there's a ship store on board where you can buy a new set of dice. Curse you, dice.
Alright, now can I look at the schematic on my datapad?
Yep.
And I want to see where that Jedi is sleeping.
Wait, what?
So you see the layout of the whole ship, but you don't see anywhere where it's marked like Jedi's quarters. You see a bunch of different places where there are various quarters marked on the map and other rooms, but nowhere on there is like a current map that like has it labeled with who's staying in what room.
What about officer quarters?
Yep, there's officer quarters on the map.
Where are they in relation to where I am?
They are in that hallway that you walk down, not across from the med bay, but all in that same corridor.
Alright, I'm gonna go out there then.
Okay. Okay, the room just below you is the room that's marked officer quarters on the map. The door's closed.
Okay, are there... Can I see if there's name tags in any of the... Or is this just like the hall? Is this a doorway to the hall to the officers' quarters?
Based on the map, this looks like a doorway that leads into a small-ish room that probably has like space for maybe like 4 people in it.
Is there a name tag to the side of who sleeps here?
Yeah, you can see on the side there's just listings of 4 different captains who are in this room.
And none of them are Gina?
Nope.
Okay. What about captain's quarters?
Well, these are all captains in this quarters.
Are there any other fancy quarters?
You don't see any spaces marked as... Well, the only other quarters that you see marked clearly on the map are the Admiral's quarters and the engineer crew quarters.
Are there more quarters along this hallway?
No, the other things along this corridor are the security station room and the armory room. And a supply closet.
Well, I don't see any other choice but to go to every room marked quarters on the map and check their name tags. So that's what I'm going to start doing.
Okay, so you just start wandering the hallways, looking at the doors?
Yeah, and I try and look as unassuming, like I'm just going for a walk kind of thing in the night. I mean, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it. I'm not like, you know, Clouseau looking through everything, but...
So you're just like
subtle.
casually glancing to the side whenever you pass a room?
Yes.
Okay.
And...
Do you like say hi to the crew members who pass you occasionally?
Maybe I nod. I also want to have my data pad so that I can switch from the map to like some sort of book that I'm quote unquote reading, so that if people come close, I can switch over to that.
Okay. Okay, we will come back to you. For now, let's go back to the Admiral's quarters. Then your Admiral says, "So, is there anything else that we can do to make your stay comfortable while you're here for about a month as we try to finish our mission?"
I'm sorry, how long?
Well, we're provisions for it to last a couple months. Hopefully it won't take that long, but it could.
Better than being stuck on an asteroid for a month.
Very much so.
I guess we could find some way to make good use of the time.
Okay, suddenly Emma starts like coughing. And the Admiral says, "Are you okay, honey?" She says, "Yeah, I'm fine. I think I need to go lay down for a bit. If you'll excuse me." And he says, "Okay, I'll be right back." And then he walks out with Emma.
You know, while we're at it, I want to use Farseeing on the person Barry thought was dead, just to see if anything has changed.
Okay.
Oh, none of you saw that because it's still linked to the GM. I rolled a nat
It was a
20.
nat 20.
Of course it is.
I hope that is the way the rest of the night goes for my use the force rolls.
Oh no.
Hey, that's how mine went last session, and it turned out okay.
You haven't been talking to Bezek lately.
I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm scared.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I always say I'm going to do crazy things that I have no intention of actually doing.
Uh-huh.
He hasn't done anything.
And I
he's
throw
done
in the
stupid
crazy things that I
before. He's never
actually
done
intend to do.
He's never done
there.
ridiculously crazy things before.
So
Well,
you never
there's
know
always
which
a
one I
first.
actually intend to do.
And while you're info dumping on him, Kyrath, let me know when you're done. And I just want to roll perception on Emma and see if Aelin can actually figure out what's going on.
Yeah, you
I
should probably
tug
do that
on
before I
Okay,
start
yes,
talking
you
to
can roll
Jaina again.
perception. It's amazing to you how much she looks exactly like Alora.
I tug on Elon's sleeve and say, the one that I looked at is sleeping in
Okay.
the room we saw right now.
Then the Admiral comes back in. Says, "Oh, I'm sorry about that. Emma's not feeling too well, so she laid down to take a rest. But the rest of us can finish up our lunch here."
How long have you two known each other?
Well, we met last year when she came aboard the ship as our chief engineer.
He nods, he nods. You took to her that quickly then, huh?
He laughs. Says, "Yes, well, she is quite a remarkable woman."
Oh, I can imagine if you taken to her so quickly. I can understand.
We've only been married about 2 months.
So in that case, you've probably known about a good deal of her history for a while then, haven't you?
Yep. Why do you ask?
Oh, I'm just trying to get a feel for you and her and trying to see what's going on. It's always nice to see two people fall in love and whatnot.
Yes, it is. He smiles.
So what did she do before before you two met over here on this ship? If you don't mind me asking, I know some things could be a little secretive, shall we say?
Well, this is her first time with the Republic military, although she's technically not part of the military. She's an independent contractor. But we found her, and she was working as an independent contractor as well, but she was working on Corellia. And before that, she was working on her home planet of Dantooine. She graduated top of her class in the Dantooine Academy for Mechanical Engineering, he says, proudly.
Oh, very nice, very nice. You must be very proud of her then.
Indeed, she does quite an excellent job keeping the ship in top condition, too.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And what did you study in college, so to say? Certainly it wasn't something like liberal arts or something.
He laughs. Well, I went to one of the training academies for the Republic military.
I see, I see. Very good, very good. I suppose you graduated pretty high up in your class, or at least with honor, at least, to already have this fine ship under your command. She's very nice, and your crew seem to be very loyal to you.
Ah, yes, I do think we get along pretty well. I've been in command of this ship for about 6 years.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Alright then, lad. Everything seems... the lunch was fantastic, sir. If you don't mind me saying, it was quite a treat to partake in such victuals.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Also, thank you for the brandy. Where did you happen to get it from? This is not exactly standard fare on a Republic military ship, that's for sure.
Yeah, I took that out of my own personal stock. After being stranded on an asteroid for a while, I figured you could use it.
Oh, thank you very much then. Thank you very much. It was definitely very helpful.
I'm glad.
And if you'll excuse me, sir, I need to go lie down myself, and it's been an arduous couple of days. And Elon will just nod at Picaz.